Let me ask you a question. Every single time you hand a bank your credit report, they're reading it in a language you've never been taught. Do you understand how they're really reading it? And while you are staring at one score, they are deciding your future off three lines you have never even looked at most of the time. I've been reading credit reports the way an underwriter reads them for over 37 years. I stay on top of what the approval systems actually weigh, and most of it is not what most of us have been told nor taught. So today, by the time we are done, you will know exactly what the bank sees when it opens your report line by line and how to read it back to them in their own language. There is one field on your report that tells a banker more than your score does, and almost nobody watching this right now knows where it is, so we've got to get on it. We are going to find it together today, and I'm going to answer your questions as we go, so stay with me. Now, I want to welcome you in on today. Before we go any further, let me tell you exactly what today is about. Because the truth of the matter is most people come to a live like this wanting one thing. They want the fix. But you cannot fix what you cannot see. So today is about what the bank sees, not how to fix it yet, how to see it first. How, and this is going to be critical. Here is how the live is going to work, because how is always important. How can I see it? But I want you to do this. Drop your questions in the chat as we go. I'm going to stop twice and answer them, once about halfway through and once at the end. But do me a favor real quick right now. Drop a comment right now with your credit score range. Are you in the 500s? Are you in the 600s? Are you in the 700s? Are you in the 800s? I don't care if it's the 400s. I want to know who is in the room so I can speak directly to you. First, let's talk about the real problem. The problem is not your report, and you've got to get that. The problem is that you were handed a document and never taught how to read it. Because here is the thing. A credit report is not a list. It is a story. I spend so much time teaching people today the importance of understanding it is a story. It is the story of how you pay people back. Told in code, however. The bank is the reader and you are the character. Your score, that is just the headline. The bank reads the whole story behind it. Now, there are three players in this story, and most people don't even know they exist. Player one is the credit bureau. Think of the bureau like a filing cabinet. They do not decide anything. They just store the file. Player two is the furnisher. That is the bank, the credit card company, the lender, the people who send information to the filing cabinet. Player three is the underwriter. That is the person or the computer at the bank who opens the file and decides yes or no. I got to say that again because this is the part nobody explains. The bureaus are not your enemy and they are not your friend. They are a filing cabinet. The bank reads the file and you were handed the key. So today I'm going to be handing you clearly what you need, because what you need is the key that they don't want you to know you really have access to. Today I want to share something that most people never get taught. When a bank opens your report, they do not start at the top and read down like a book. They jump to specific spots, and I'm going to show you those spots in the exact order the bank looks at them. Number one, the header. At the top of your report is your name, your address, your employers, your social security number. Most people skip this part. The bank does not. Because if your name is misspelled or an address you never lived at shows up, that's a red flag. It means your file might be mixed with someone else's. That is called a mixed file. It means somebody else's data is sitting inside your story, and the bank will judge you on their mistakes. So the header is not boring. It is your first chance to catch an error before it costs you. Number 2, the trade lines. Now, this is the heart of the report. A trade line is just a fancy word for one of your accounts. Every credit card, every loan, each one is its own line. And inside each trade line, there are a few fields that matter more than the rest. The date opened and the date of last activity. That tells the bank how old the account is. Older is better because an old account is proof you've been consistent for a long time. Then there is your high balance and your credit limit. Now, this is where the hidden stuff lives. Your limit is how much the bank says you can spend. Your high balance is the most you have ever put on the card. And a bank does not just look at how much you owe. It looks at how full the card is. And I'll come back to this because it's one of the biggest levers you have. And then here it is, the field I teased at the top, the payment history grid. It's a row of little boxes. Each box is 1 month, and each box is marked either OK or 30, 60, 90, or CO for charge off. That row of boxes is the single most important thing a banker looks at, more than your score. Think of it like a report card. The bank does not care what your final grade is. They want to see if you showed up every single month. One 30-day late mark sits on that grid for 7 years. The bank can see it. They can see exactly when it happened, and they weigh it against everything else. That is the field that tells a banker more than your score. Your payment grid, your story, month by month. Number 3, the inquiries. An inquiry is just a record that somebody looked at your report, and there are 2 kinds. A hard inquiry means you asked for money. You applied for a card or a loan. A soft inquiry means somebody just looked, like when you check your own credit. That does not hurt you. The system just lets you believe it does. One plain rule: hard inquiries matter, soft inquiries do not. Number 4, public records and collections. That is where the heavy stuff lives. Bankruptcies, judgments, liens, collections. Now, if you have something here, the single most important date is called the date of first delinquency. We call it the DOFD. That is the date the clock started on the 7-year removal. And here's the part most people get wrong. Most people fight the wrong date. They argue about the date a collection agency bought the debt. That doesn't matter. The date of first delinquency is the date you first went late and never caught up. That is the date that controls when it falls off. So remember this. If you remember nothing else from today, remember the DOFD. It is the date that matters. Now, here's something we've got to get into. When this strategy works best, we've got to really apply it right there. The bank does not weigh everything on your report equally. They have a ranking, and this is important to know. And once you know the ranking, you know where to focus. So let me give you the order from heaviest to lightest. First and heaviest, payment history. The bank's number 1 question is simple. Have you paid people back on time, over and over. This is the whole game. It is the heaviest thing on your report. It is that payment grid that I spoke about earlier. If your payment history is clean, you are already ahead of most people. Second, amounts owed or utilization. Now, this is the part that trips up even smart people because the bank does not look at how much total debt you have. They look at how full each card is. That is called your utilization. It is the amount you owe divided by your limit. Here is the plain version. Same debt, two different people. One card is half full, the other card is maxed out. The bank sees the first person as safe. They see the second person as desperate. Same amount of debt, different story. Third, length of history. This is the age of your accounts. And the bank reads age like this. An old card is proof that you've been consistent. A brand new card is proof of nothing yet. So never close your oldest card just to clean things up. That shortens your story. And I'm going to come back to this because this one is very, very important. Fourth, mix of credit. A bank likes to see two kinds of accounts. Revolving, like credit cards, and installment, like a car loan or a mortgage. Here's the one-line version. A bank likes to see you can handle a bill you pay once and a bill you pay forever. It shows you can manage different kinds of promises. Fifth, and the lightest, new credit. This is how many new accounts and hard inquiries you have in the last few months. Because here is what the flurry of hard inquiries says to a bank. It says this person is hurting for money. And a person hurting for money is a person who might be in trouble. Now, here is what I want you to remember right now. The system taught you to chase a score. The bank is not looking at a score. The bank is looking at these 5 things in this order. And once you know the order, you stop wasting your time on the light stuff. All right. So here is the part where I show you how to read it like the banks do. When an underwriter opens your file, their eyes jump to 5 spots. And I want you to memorize these 5 spots. Spot 1, the payment grid. Before the score, always. Spot 2, the DOFD on any collection. The date that matters. Spot 3, the utilization on your revolving accounts, not your total debt, how full each card is. Spot 4, the age of your oldest account, your longest proof of consistency. And spot 5, recent inquiries clustered in the last 6 months. Are you hunting for money? Now, let me give you a quick story because this is where everything we talked about comes together. Same person, same habits. Let's say they have a 640 score, but their payment grid is clean for 5 straight years. They have one old card and their utilization is low. Now, take a different person, a 720 score, but they have 3 maxed out cards, a 60-day late from last year, and 6 hard inquiries in the last 3 months. Which one gets approved? The bank can approve the 640 and decline the 720. Same number, different story. That is the gap we're going to close. And today, if you have heard what we're sharing with you, that gap closes. Now, let me pause right here. Open the floor. I told you I would answer your questions. And so I want to do that. I want you to drop them in the chat. And while more come in, I'm going to begin with some that were turned in since we have begun. And so we'll begin right there. Question number 1. If I only have time to fix one thing, what should it be? Well, listen, it's all about the payment grid. Payment history is the heaviest weight. So you have got to make certain that you are working to pay on time. And if there's been any pattern history or any opportunity for a late payment to show up, get on it. That's the thing you want to challenge and clean up, because that's the heaviest weight when they look at the report. Great question. Question number 2, does checking my own credit really not hurt my score? No, it's a soft inquiry. Very important that you know the difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. A hard inquiry means you asked for money. A soft inquiry is simply like someone looking at the credit. Maybe they want to see if they can offer you something, or maybe you're just checking the report, but this is not hurting you to look at your own credit. I see question number 3. What is the difference between a high balance and a credit limit? This is a great question. Limit is what the bank lets you spend. High balance is the most you have ever used. This is all about utilization. So when you have $1,000 limit and your high balance is $700, that means at some point you had 70% utilization. Utilization matters greatly because the system wants to see it under 30. I teach you to keep it under 10% on your statement date, under 30% throughout the billing cycle. So it's a very, very important thing. Let's get another one in here. How long does a late payment stay on my report? Well, if you don't do anything about it, it's 7 years from the date it opened. Now, this is important. The bank sees the exact month that this happened, and it's going to be there 7 years unless you do something. Now, I want you to know it's going to do the greatest amount of damage in the first 24 months, but it is visible for 7 years. Well, I appreciate those questions right there. We'll come back to some more. Now, before we close the teaching, though, I have to show you the flip side, because there are 5 things people obsess over that do not matter, and the system trains you to look at all 5 of them. So here is what not. What not number 1, do not chase your score alone. The score is the headline. It is not the story. The bank reads the entire story. What not number 2, do not think your income is on the report, because it's not. Your income is not on your credit report. The bank reads your behavior, not your paycheck. And this is critically important for you and I to understand. What not number 3, do not fear soft inquiries. Checking your own credit does not hurt you. The system let you believe it does. It does not. What not number 4, do not close old accounts to clean things up. Closing an old account shortens your history and can raise your utilization. The system's cleanup advice is backwards. What not number 5, do not trust every free score app. Most of those apps show you a score the bank is not even pulling. It is a different model, a different number. You'll be the same person, same report, but reading it the wrong way, and it's going to make a terrible difference if you do it. The real lesson is this: you were never bad with money. You were taught to read the wrong document. The bank has been reading a story you didn't know was written. Now you know the language. And once you can read it, you can position yourself inside it. That is the entire game. Now, here is what I want you to remember, and here is where you go next. You've probably been told your problem is discipline or budgeting or simply working harder. Those things may matter, but they may not be the root problem. The deeper issue may be a financial system you have not been shown how to see just yet. So I built a free tool to help you find which layer is creating the most friction, and you can learn it in about 5 minutes. It's called the CBL Financial Positioning Diagnostic. The link is below. There is no cost, no pressure, but a boatload of clarity. And listen, reading your report is step one, but knowing what to do after you can see it, that's the diagnosis, the sequencing, the personalization, and that's the full CBL Wealth Blueprint. If you want the whole thing, you want to get it all completed, you can see that also in the description. But do me a favor real quick and subscribe to this great channel. Hit the like button because we want many people to see this so they'll be on top of this information just like you. And drop a comment below. Let me know what range you're in because it's important. I've been reading those and I'm excited to see you here. Now, I want to get to some more questions as we got a little time left, and we said we would answer some of these questions, and I want to take the time to do it. Should I close a card I do not use anymore? Usually no, especially if it's old. This is important. When you close, you shorten the history and you raise the utilization. So it is a bad move 95% of the time. Next question. Why does the app show me a different score than the bank? Great question. This is a problem for most people because there's so many models. The answer is it's a different scoring model. This is a part of the whatnot number 5 that I was teaching. The bank is not pulling that number. What is the single most important thing you've got to get in your brain around models? Don't fall for this single model app that is giving you some score that fits this business, because that's who's putting it out, a business. And they want you watching their app, their page, their score, because they're going to advertise all types of things to you. But when the bank pulls, they're going to be pulling an entirely different model. So do not get stuck with all these models. Next question. What is the single most important date on my report? Well, this is good. It is the DOFD, Date of First Delinquency. It controls the 7-year clock. You see, this is not about when a collection agency got this debt. This is about when was the last payment made by me. And if you've got a charge off and a collection, chances are that last payment is with the charge off. So this is important because the 7-year clock starts then, not when someone else is trying to collect off of you. Next question. I have a collection. Do I pay it or challenge it? Listen, this is important. It depends on whether it's accurate and who owns the debt. You see, I believe this relative to collections. You have got to use the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act to find out if the person that is trying to collect this debt actually owns the debt. If they don't own the debt, they could be violating privacy laws, sharing your information with third-party credit bureaus or with anybody for that matter. So you got to make sure that there was an actual legal exchange of title between the original creditor and the collection company who is reaching out to you. So who owns the debt? And then we're going to look at the date of first delinquency to make sure that this debt is still viable to even be collected, because the statute of limitations runs out in many states under 6 years for collections. So you got to be very, very careful to check it out. Another question. How fast can I actually see a change in my report? Well, utilization updates when your card reports, often 30 to 45 days. Payment history is a little bit slower. This sets realistic expectations. You see, you've got to know that if I am talking about seeing payment history change, well, that's slow. But the utilization can be fixed by you simply bringing it down by making sure to make a payment prior to your statement date. When it now reports, it's going to report lower utilization. Your utilization number will come down and your scores will go up and your profile will be stronger because of what the bank is looking at. Great question. Another question. What is the first step I should take when I get off this live? Love it. Pull your report. Read the payment grid, the DOFD first. Then I want you to take the CBL financial positioning diagnostic because this is important. If you do these things, pull the report, look at the payment grid, check to see the date of first delinquency, and take the positioning diagnostic, you're going to be setting yourself up to see exactly where any weakness, issue, problem is. Then you can wrap your mind around it and begin to pursue the course that's going to take you exactly where you want to be. So today you learned what the bank sees, the 5 spots, the DOFD, the payment grid, the order of what matters. Now you have the key. Use all of the information you've been given today, and I promise you this, you're going to prosper. So listen, I want you to be blessed, and I promise we will see you again real soon. Be blessed.